What's up, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys this nine-game slate here on a Monday. Just want to thank you for all the support this past weekend on NBA and NFL. You guys smashed the NFL video. It's been our highest viewed video so far on the channel, so thank you guys for that. The support's been tremendous, and tomorrow we have a special surprise for you guys. We're dropping the Discord tomorrow, so the Discord's going to be absolutely free. You guys can join the Discord. We're going to talk some sports in there. We're going to give out some picks here and there. We're going to be um, I want to get some of your guys' insight on what you think for some slates between NFL and NBA. Maybe we can dive into some other sports. I help you guys out, you help us out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So hop over there. Like I said, absolutely free. You guys can hop in, and that's gonna be a good time. We're also gonna be running a giveaway at the end of this week too, so which is gonna be cool. So we're still deciding on what exactly we want to give away yet. But like I said, you guys have been awesome, and we deserve to give something. You guys deserve to get something from us, I should say, because you guys have been killing it. So we are gonna be doing a giveaway by the end of the week. So Wednesday's video, we'll have everything figured out, and we'll have like kind of the rules and how to get in and what we'll be giving away. So stay tuned for that. And we're here on PrizePicks again, man. This is what we do. We do PrizePicks videos for NFL and NBA. And if you can sign up using promo code UPSTATE, which is down below, you get a $100 deposit match. You can put in 25, 50, doesn't matter, and you'll still get your money back to play with. But 100 is the max. And then if you never played PrizePicks before, it's a simplified daily sports app where you can mix and match sports. You could take the over-unders. Right now, you got someone like Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, 17 and a half. You click on them, take the over-under. You can match it up with someone in the NFL game tonight. Like there's like Russell Wilson if you like his passing yards tonight. So there's a lot of different ways to play, super simplified. And it really is the future of fantasy sports, man. So we're here. We're here back for another video. A lot of good lines tonight. And Riaz is going to start us off.
Yeah, the first guy I was on him last night for the points and he just kind of he had a horrible game. If you just look against Milwaukee, he had 4 points. It was just something that I really did not expect. I love targeting big men against Milwaukee, but he's in a great spot here against Minnesota. We've seen games where he had 6 against Utah, bounce back game had 18, then the game after that he had 20. And then even against Charlotte, he had 8, and then he bounced back to uh, 2 games after that, 20 and 21. So definitely looking for a great bounce back here. We know Sabonis can stretch the field, stretch the court, and not only that, he's averaging almost 18 points a game. So Sabonis is a guy that I definitely do like for the over here.
It's an absolute floor game for Sabonis last time out. It was unfortunate to see because I was on him and we didn't do an NBA video. We never do NBA on Sundays, but I plugged in the lineup. I was on him. Just so disappointing to see him go for 4 points. Just really not assertive enough last night. And we've seen games like this season where he's only put up like 6 shots. So unfortunate to see. Hopefully he can get things going tonight. We know the ceiling for him. We know the shot attempts could be there with 15, 16 shots. He can hit a three, maybe two in a game. So he can get here. This game should be pretty high scoring. They're coming off a back to back. They could rely on some of their studs here, and Sabonis is probably the best player on the team. So, um, he should lean on them tonight, and hopefully they get a win here against Minnesota. For me in points, scrolling down the list a little bit. I mean, I was on Towns a couple of videos ago, and they played that overtime game against Philly, and it was he just got there in the first half, but in the rest of the game, he wasn't really he wasn't really doing much. Wasn't much of a factor. He did foul out. He got into some foul trouble, but he's not in a bad spot against Indiana. But the guy I wanted to highlight here is Darius Garland. He's at 17 and a half for the game tonight, and he just looked comfortable since Sexton went down. And I really like this Cavs team so far. They play hard. They've been playing hard. They've been beating some pretty good teams as of late too. And the shot attempts are there, and the rest of the team is playing good, man. I mean, Mobley's a very promising rookie. Allen's had some really solid games so far this season, and Garland's just been very, very consistent, really, over the past 15, 16 games or so. Uh, really doesn't have a super high ceiling. We've seen his ceiling game this season, which was last game, go for 26 points. But we've seen the only low we've really seen is about 11 points. So I really like him in this offense. Put up 21 shots last game, but we see as high as 27, 26 so far this season. Shooting the ball 35% from deep, which is not perfect. But like I said, I like this Cavs team, and he's kind of the leader out there right now. And he's been playing solid, so I really like him over 17 and a half.
Garland without Colin Sexton is he's just a different player. Colin Sexton was more of the ultimate scorer, and Garland was kind of the passer. But now with Sexton out, Garland's got to be the one to step up and produce these 25, 20 games. So definitely like his over against Dallas. The last guy I want to talk about is a little bit lower, and that's Rudy Gobert. I was on Rudy Gobert a couple games ago, and he actually ended up hitting against Oklahoma or OKC, and kind of just like this, going against kind of a team that is kind of struggling. I don't really think Nurkic plays that many minutes. I think Rudy Gobert can get him in foul trouble, and we've seen Gobert once he gets over that 10-point threshold, the scoring is just endless. I mean, he's averaging 15 points a game. 12 and a half seems a little low in this game. I think they're going to target him pretty heavily early to get him going, and we just saw. I mean, the last two games have been pretty rough, 6 points, 9 points, but the games before that, he went on a stretch where he had over 15 in those 5 to 7 games. So definitely like Rudy Gobert in this matchup.
Not Gobert much this season, but when I have, he's played well for me. So yeah, he's not in a bad spot. Like I said, Nurkic just doesn't play a lot of minutes, man. He doesn't, and I'm not sure why. But he's in a solid spot to get there. Portland's been in a lot of shootouts so far this season, and I think that's going to be a solid game. If you want to hop over to rebounds, for me, I'm on one guy, and it's really not pretty. But I was on him to start the season, and he was playing well, for a while. And then he had some up and down, but he's had a pretty solid overall rookie season. That's Josh Giddey, for the Thunder here. He's at 6.5, and this is kind of just based off game script. Really, he's getting a lot of good run. Um, but realistically, they're playing this Houston team. Should be up and down the floor. Two young teams could be going fast pace. He's in a solid spot, to get the 7 rebounds tonight. And over the past 10 games, he only's missed this twice. So 8 out of the last 10 games, he's gotten over this, and we've seen ceilings of 12 rebounds, so far this season. So almost, um, he's averaging over this on more, averaging more than 6.5 on the season, averaging 7.5 rebounds on the season, which is nice to see. So he's in a solid spot tonight. Like I said, playing better as of late, been scoring the ball. He looks like he's just starting to flourish, learning the NBA game a little bit. But against this Houston team, who aren't great rebounders either, I think this is going to be a run and gun. Should be a high scoring game with fast pace.
Giddy's an awesome play, and if you just kind of look at that Houston team, Christian Wood's really the only guy that grabs just a handful of boards. But other than that, Tate can grab some boards, but he just has a lot of up and down games, and even Eric Gordon doesn't really grab too many boards. So honestly, I'm staying in the same game. I like Shea here. Uh, Shea's been really up and down. You see here on his last five, he had 8 against Washington, 3 against Boston, but um, for rebounds, I mean, he's averaging a little over 5, and we've seen games where he goes out and just grabs just 9, 8, 7 boards, and I think he does that here again. We haven't seen one of those games where he grabs 10, 11 boards, but Shea's really not that player. He's out there primarily to score, but getting a couple putbacks and just being aggressive on the defensive end of the board is huge. And we know both these teams are struggling pretty heavily, but um, I just love Shea in this matchup. I think he just has all the stats to get there, and just we've seen even in this last 5 games. I mean, it is only it is only 50%, but still, don't mind that at all.
Is there anyone else here in rebounds? Sorry, the dog is just going. The dog's going crazy right now. I don't know if you can hear him.
No,
Um,
well, a little bit, but that's okay.
is there anyone else in rebounds here you want to talk about?
Yeah, and that's somebody who we've been kind of on and off all year, but he's just been smashing, and that's Jared Allen. His line's sitting at 10 and a half, um, back-to-back 11 rebounds games, and even put up 15 against Brooklyn. But we've seen Jared Allen just crush the board so far this year. I mean, there was a stretch of games midway through the season so far in this early. He went 16, 17, 15, 17. So we know there's a lot of upside here, and I love the matchup against Dallas. Kluber can't really guard him. Powell can't guard him, and I don't really believe they're gonna put Porzingis on him. So there's really no one here on this Dallas team that can really compete with Jared Allen, and he's averaging 11 boards. You would think with all the games where he's just had monster performances, you would think the average would be higher, but 11 boards is still a lot, and I could see him grabbing 13, 14 boards in this game pretty easily.
We've seen spots where Jared Allen this season is just, like you said, absolutely smashed, over 20 rebounds, going crazy. I've been targeting Allen quite a bit this season. I've been off of him as the season progresses a little bit. The line's at 10.5 now, and like you said, uh, Dallas can rebound the ball decently, but in terms of matchup at the center spot, he's not going to have an issue there. I don't think Jared Allen is, and I think this is in a solid spot to get 10.5 points tonight. Really do. I mean, 10.5 rebounds. Over at assists for me, I'm on one guy here, and I was bouncing back and forth. I didn't know whether to take him in the points or take him in the assists, but I like him in this game, and that's LaMelo Ball. So he's going against his brother, um, and I just feel like Lonzo's a good defender, actually a really good perimeter defender. So I was off LaMelo on the points. That just kind of scares me a little bit there. But I know LaMelo runs the offense. He's going to have the ball in his hand, and if he's not scoring, he's gonna have to be the playmaker. And he's got some solid pieces around who've been playing really well. We've seen some up and down performances a little bit. For Gordon Hayward, but Terry Rozier's looking nice. Miles Bridges has looked amazing. So he's obviously, I don't have to talk about the Hornets too much. You guys already know they're playing well. Good shooters around them. So LaMelo here in the assist. I like it more than the points, just because I feel like Lonzo, it just could, big brother could be locking him up a little bit. But either way, LaMelo's out here. He's gonna get his own in the assist tonight, and he's been absolutely smashing. We've seen games where he's gone for like 15 assists. So LaMelo Ball here in assists. I really like the over.
LaMelo Ball is such a playmaker. It's kind of crazy to see how many assists he racks up, and he racks them up early too. I mean, right at the end of the first half, he could have 6 or 7. But it's kind of funny you're on LaMelo because I'm actually on his brother Lonzo for assists, and that's just the fact that it's at 4.5. Yes, this is at his line, his average, but we've seen the assists just kind of climb so far this season, and it's kind of the fact that he's got unbelievable scores around him in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Vucevic. So he's not the guy who he doesn't need to score. Lonzo's never really been the guy that is the scorer, and we've seen just throughout his career, Lonzo is a guy that can really make some unbelievable passes. I mean, just like his little brother, Lamelo, but Lonzo at 4.5 just seems way too low, especially in this game that both these teams started off pretty hot in the early season. So definitely going to be an awesome game. Definitely going to be a game that I am going to be watching. So like both the ball brothers here in the over.
Points wise too, I just didn't know who to go to. Like I think Lonzo, he's sitting at 11.5. He looks solid. Like we've seen him have like really good games this season. He had that game where he had like 26 points. Obviously when he was with New Orleans, he had some really good games. It's just like, it's just tough with the Chicago team because now, you add Vucevic back to the mix and they got a lot of good scores. But I think this game should be a fast pace for sure. And I think that there should be a ton of points scored. But it just scares me to go to either of these guys with the points because I don't know how it's going to play out. But I know one thing: these guys are amazing playmakers, so it doesn't scare me with either of these two guys. Lamelo at 8, Lonzo Ball at 4.5. I think you can play with both. I don't think you should be scared to look at both these guys and play them in the same lineups because I think regardless, they have a lot of usage in terms of handling the ball for their team. I think they're in solid spots to get both. So is there anyone else here for assists or no?
No, let's kick it right over to 3 points.
Yeah, I'm only on one guy. I'm only on one guy here. I usually am on a couple. Um, and for me, I like Terry Rozier. Right now, he's at 2. It hasn't moved or anything like that yet, but he's been having a really good stretch of games. 31, going against Houston, 43 minutes played in that game. Then 32 he had against Washington, shooting the ball well from deep. The thing you like to see is the last game. 16 3-pointers attempted. That's some Steph Curry type stuff. Hit 6 of them. He's shooting 33% on the season. Ignore that for now. He's finally getting going. He was dealing with a lot of injuries, dealing with some stuff. But now he's in the offense. Him and LaMelo, they play pretty well together. And like I said, I'm on LaMelo with the assists. Terry Rozier's not like the premier catch and shoot guy for the team, but he can hit a couple of them. And he does take a few of them. In terms of catch and shoot, he's more of a creator on the perimeter. But Terry Rozier here, regardless, if you're seeing 16 shot attempts from deep, that's something you can't ignore. I don't expect to see that many, but if he's going to stay around the 10 and 11 range too, is such a good number. I really like him here.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, the fact that he put up 16 threes, it's kind of hard to think that he's not going to get over the two. And then if you just look at his last five, he's been smashing. Besides one, but right next to him, a guy can't seem to fade in threes. His line is just always very enticing, and that's Bradley Beal. We know he's not shooting the ball that well so far this year. I mean, under 30% from three, but love the matchup against the Spurs. I think this is going to be a very fast-paced game. The Spurs, I mean, their scheme has kind of changed. They're more offensively. We know the old Spurs, big Spurs fan. They were all about the defense, just locking teams down, but that's not the case anymore, and I think Bradley Beal is gonna have a lot of points. He'll probably drop 30 against my Spurs, and Washington is one of the better teams in this Eastern Conference. So they're definitely a team to look out for. And like we always say, there's no way Bradley Beal is only gonna be uh, under 30% from three throughout the season. It's got to switch, and there's no better game against the Spurs to kind of start that off. And we saw last game he was 10 for 14 from the field. He only shot one three, but he was 1 for 1. And the game before that he was 2 for 7, which isn't that great, but we've seen glimpses where he is making a bunch of threes. I mean, there was a game against the Charlotte Hornets where he did go 5 for 11, and the shot attempts are there. So definitely like this 1.5 over.
Yeah, Beal. It's just the minutes, man. The minutes and the usage. Unfortunately, he's not been shooting the ball deep. Maybe it's something mental, right now. Why he's not shooting the three ball well, or why he's not even attempting a lot of them. But the team has been playing pretty well. As of late, though, they've been struggling, but they won the last two, and they've been on the road for the past three games. This will be the fourth game on this road stand, and it's just like I hope that Bradley Beal can come out, be a little bit more assertive on the perimeter, man. If they put Dejounte Murray on him, Beal might struggle just to get to the hole. Might be struggling to get to his. He likes that elbow pull up. He likes to take some mid range shots. Awesome from that range, but maybe Dejounte Murray gives him a little bit of trouble in that range, makes him shoot the deep ball. Dejounte Murray is such a good defender. Maybe he forces him to shoot the three ball. He's like, hey, you're shooting a bad percentage. I want to see you take shots from deep, and Beal might make him pay tonight. So I think it's a solid matchup. Like you said, should be uptick game. Anyone else here? There's a couple guys who are just usually right there. Like Luka's been here all season, but we know his ceiling is crazy in terms of three pointers. But Garland too around him from the points. I like him in the points a lot more than I do for threes. So is there anyone else here or no?
Not really. I haven't been really doing that well on the three pointers made, but I mean, you could even look at LaMelo. We saw that game against Minnesota where he didn't have uh, any threes made, and then pushed with two at Houston. But we know LaMelo chucks up threes, and he makes a good percentage of them.
And then in terms of fantasy score, man, obviously this is the most packed category. They got a lot of mouths to feed over here in fantasy score. So who do you like here? Is there anyone that you're on for the over?
There's really only one guy that I really like. I would love to go back to Wendell Carter Jr., but I don't want to keep talking about him. But to kind of stay in that same game, I like Tyrese Maxey. We've just seen him smash this year. It's been kind of crazy to see. We thought when Milton came back that we would kind of see his minutes regress a little bit, kind of his usage regress. But since since Embiid has missed some games, Tobias Harris has missed some games. Maxi's been the guy that just kind of doesn't seem to fade away. He kind of stats. He packs the stats. He scores a bunch of points. He's averaging 18 points, almost 19. Grabs almost 4 rebounds and almost averaging 5 assists. So I mean, he kind of covers everything we're really looking for. Almost averaging a steal, and just overall, I like the matchup against Orlando. No Cole Anthony. And we know Orlando has small guards. Suggs is no real threat to guard him. So love him to take advantage of Orlando tonight.
I think he's in a really good spot tonight as well. Scrolling down for me, the one guy I'm on here, I like Evan Mobley. He's at 31 right now. Just been playing really good as a rookie, like I said. Great defender. I think they're going to need him tonight on Porzingis, like averaging almost 2 blocks a game, which is awesome to see. Can step out and hit the three ball as well, but it's really not even necessarily you don't need him. You don't need a ceiling game for him to get here at 31. This is kind of where he's been sitting at. Actually, his average on fantasy points per game this season is 33 and a half. So this is under his average. And he's been playing better as of late. We've seen a game where he went for 26 points. We've seen double games where he went for 11 and 11 with a couple blocks, 15 and 10 with a couple blocks. Not a great playmaker, but we've seen as high as five assists this game. This season so far, and out of his last six, he's hit this 5 times. One game against Boston where he only played 29 minutes, just a bad game. Only combined like 180 points scored in that game, so just tough to see. But I really like the spot. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored, like we were talking about earlier when we were talking about Garland. And Mobley's a guy that can do it for you in other categories. Not just scoring. He can go out there and 10-10, 4 blocks and get you there. So he's a guy that looks solid tonight, and I really like him over fantasy score because I feel like this is just about where he's at.
The best thing about Mobley is the fact that he came off his elbow injury and plays 33 minutes against Orlando and just has a really steady performance. I mean, 13 points, 8 boards, 4 blocks. I mean, just incredible. So we know he's not banged up anymore. We know he's healthy and ready to go. And like you touched on, love the matchup he has against Dallas. He's gonna have to play a big factor to kind of keep this game close.
And then there's a couple other guys here that look pretty good, but I don't want to keep this going for any longer because these guys are not like super on, but like they look decent. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be hammering them or not. But this is all type stuff that we're going to be discussing in the Discord. So if you guys hop into the Discord, I work nights, but so I'll be in and out of the Discord. So I'll be figuring out how I can manage that. I'll be trying to hop in with you guys, but during the day, I'll be all over it, trying to get some things going. Hopefully some interaction with you guys, which would be awesome. But as always, you can comment down on the video if we miss someone, if there's someone that you like. I'm pretty sure everything's out right now, so things might shift a little bit. So if something shifts, let us know. You can help not only us out, but you can help someone else looking into the comments. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Like I said, we're on the road. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, which is even crazy to say. So like I said, giveaway Wednesday. We'll be talking about that. Discord tomorrow. So keep up the support, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.